Welcome back to Tales by WZ. Today's story is about a girlfriend who dumped her boyfriend after meeting his poor parents, then tried to crawl back the second she learned they were wealthy. While you listen, ask yourself where you would draw the line between a mistake and someone showing you who they really are. My girlfriend said, "I can't marry into poverty." I replied, "We're done." Then I blocked her everywhere, stayed quiet and invested my new inheritance, and I just watched as she flooded my phone with burner numbers and even dragged my job into it. I'm 29 and 3 weeks ago I got dumped in a way that didn't even feel real at first. My ex-girlfriend is 27. We were together almost 2 years. Things seemed solid. We lived separately but spent most weekends together. She worked in marketing, I'm in software development. We both made decent money, we split dates pretty evenly. Normal relationship stuff. About 4 months ago, she started pushing hard to meet my parents, not a casual, "One day I'd love to meet them." More like, "When am I finally meeting the people who raised you?" 2 years is a long time, she said. She wasn't wrong. I kept putting it off, not because I was ashamed of my parents. I love my parents. I put it off because they're different and I knew she might not understand it. My parents are in their early 60s. They retired early. My mom used to be a nurse. My dad worked in accounting. They live in a small 3-bedroom ranch house they bought in the 80s. They still drive a 2008 sedan because it runs fine. My mom clips coupons like it's a hobby. My dad wears flannel shirts he's had for 15 years. They shop at discount grocery stores. They fix things instead of replacing them. And they think eating out more than once a month is excessive. If you saw them from the outside, you'd think they were barely getting by. The reality is the exact opposite. My parents are worth about $8.7 million. They saved aggressively their whole working lives, invested smart, lived way below their means, no debt, house paid off. They could afford almost anything. They just don't want anything. They're genuinely happy with their simple life, gardening, library books, card games with neighbors, quiet mornings. Nothing flashy. I grew up the same way. Public school, no designer anything. Used cars. I didn't even realize we were wealthy until college when my dad casually mentioned their retirement portfolio during a financial aid conversation. It blew my mind. They raised me with the same values. Save more than you spend. Appreciate what you have. Don't show off money like it's a personality. Even now, I make good money, but I live modestly. Nice apartment, nothing crazy, reliable car, not flashy. Most people would never guess my family has money. That's the thing about quiet wealth. It doesn't try to impress you. So when my girlfriend kept pushing to meet my parents, I finally caved. I drove her out to their place on a Sunday afternoon in early October. And from the moment we walked in, I could feel it. She kept making these little faces. Not obvious enough to call out, but enough that you notice. My mom served homemade iced tea in mismatched glasses. My girlfriend smiled tightly and looked down like she was trying not to react. My dad showed her his vegetable garden and talked about how it saves money on groceries. She nodded like she was listening, but her eyes kept drifting to her phone. We ate dinner off plates that were clearly from the 70s. My parents were warm and welcoming. They asked her about her job. They told stories about their neighborhood. They treated her like family, and she acted like she was touring a place she didn't want to live. At one point she leaned in and whispered, "Your bathroom only has one sink." "Yeah," I said, "it's a small house." Then she whispered, "And that couch, how old is that thing?" "I don't know," I said. "Maybe 20 years, it's comfortable." That's a tiny moment, but it tells you a lot about someone. If they can't respect where people live, they don't respect the people. She didn't say much the rest of the visit, just kept that tight smile, checked her phone. Looked like she was waiting for it to be over. On the drive back, she was quiet. I knew something was wrong, but I thought we'd talk about it later. We didn't even make it home. Halfway back, she asked me to pull over into a coffee shop parking lot. I thought maybe she needed caffeine. Or maybe she wanted to talk about the awkward vibe. Instead, she turned toward me with a serious look. "I need to be honest with you," she said. "That tone makes your stomach drop." "Okay," I said. "Today was really eye-opening," she said. Your parents are sweet people, but I can't do this. My brain stalled for a second. Do what? I asked. This relationship, she said. I thought you came from more. I didn't realize your family was struggling like that. I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. Struggling, I repeated. My parents aren't struggling. She looked offended, like my laugh was disrespectful. Babe, come on, she said. That house, the furniture, your dad's clothes, I'm not judging them, but I need to be realistic about my future. Then she said the line that still makes me feel sick when I replay it. I can't marry into poverty. There are some words you don't forget, not because they're clever, but because they show you a person's soul for a second. I stared at her. My parents aren't poor, I said slowly. They just live simply. Right, she said, like she'd caught me lying, because they have to. And then she turned her judgment toward me. I've been thinking, she said. You're the same way. Always suggesting we cook at home instead of trying new restaurants, never wanting to upgrade your car even though you could afford payments. That ratty old backpack you refuse to replace. Then she said, those are choices born from growing up without much. Like she was explaining something to a child. I get it, she said, but I grew up differently. I'm used to a certain lifestyle. My parents gave me that, and I want to give it to my future family. She took a breath like she was being mature. You're a great guy, she said, but we're incompatible long term. I sat there stunned. 2 years. 2 whole years, and she was dumping me in a parking lot because my parents' house didn't impress her. So that's it, I said. You're breaking up with me because my parents don't have granite countertops. Don't be reductive, she snapped. This is about values and lifestyle compatibility. I need someone who shares my vision, someone who can provide the life I want. Then she got out of my car, called a ride share, and left me sitting there like I was some bad investment she just sold off. I drove home in a daze. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just felt numb. And under the numbness, I felt insulted. She judged my entire family based on furniture. So that night, I blocked her number, blocked her on everything. If someone can look at your parents and call them poverty like it's a disease, you don't argue, you leave. That was 3 weeks ago. Then life did what life does. It changed the whole situation without asking anyone's permission. Last week, my dad's brother passed away. It wasn't unexpected. He'd been sick for a while. He was in his 70s. Still sad, but he lived a full life. My dad was the executor of his estate. My uncle never married. No kids. Lived even more frugally than my parents, which is saying something. He worked as a mechanical engineer for 40 years and saved everything. Invested in real estate back in the 90s. Smart guy. In his will, he left everything to my dad, and my dad split it with me. He told me he and my mom didn't need it. He wanted me to have it for my future. My half was about $2.1 million. So after the legal stuff cleared, combined with my own savings and investments, I was sitting around $4.6 million at 29. I'm still working. I like my job. I don't want to blow money just because I can, but yeah, it's life-changing. A local newspaper ran a small notice about the estate distribution, the kind of thing buried in the legal notices. Nothing dramatic. Apparently, my ex's mother reads those notices like it's her morning coffee. 3 days after it published, I got a text from an unknown number. Hey, it's me. I know you blocked me, but I'm texting from my friend's phone. Can we talk, please? I made a huge mistake. I didn't respond. I blocked it. 2 hours later, another number. I know you're seeing these. I'm so sorry, I miss you, can we meet for coffee? Blocked. Then she emailed my work contact. I understand you're hurt, but we had something real. 2 years means something. I judged too quickly. Let me make it right. That's when I knew she wasn't just trying to apologize. She was trying to get access. I called my mom because the email mentioned something weird. My mom hesitated, then admitted my ex's mother had called her. She called me asking about you, my mom said. She said her daughter was heartbroken. My mom is kind. She's polite. She assumes people mean well. So she said something like, we raised him to be independent and he'll be just fine in life. To my mom, that was a normal mom statement. To a town gossip, that was confirmation. And after that, the messages got worse. Different numbers, different excuses. I know about your inheritance, one text said. That doesn't change how I feel. I never cared about money. I just freaked out. The audacity was almost impressive. Then she showed up at my apartment, rang the buzzer for 10 minutes until my neighbor threatened to call building management. I went down to the lobby because I wanted to tell her one time clearly to stop. She looked rough, hair not as perfect, makeup smudged like she'd been crying. If I didn't know why she was there, maybe I would have felt something, but I did know. "Thank you for coming down," she said, tears already forming. "I've been trying to reach you for days." "I know," I said. "I've been blocking you." "I deserve that," she said. "I was awful, the worst. I said terrible things about your family. I've regretted it every day." "Uh-huh," I said. "I mean it," she said. "Your mom sounded so sweet on the phone. I want to apologize to her too." "My mom isn't interested," I said, her face tightened. "Then just to you," she said. "Please. Can we go somewhere and talk?" "Talk about what?" I asked. "About us," she said. "Fixing this. People make mistakes. We can work through this." "You dumped me in a parking lot," I said, "because you thought my family was poor." She nodded like she'd rehearsed this. "I know how that sounds," she said, "but I panicked. I had a picture in my head of what I wanted. I realized none of that matters. You matter, right? And the timing was just a coincidence, apparently." I looked at her and asked the only question that mattered. "When did you suddenly decide I was worth another shot? Before or after you found out about my uncle's will?" She had the decency to look embarrassed. "That's not why I'm here," she said quickly. "Sure," I said. "I didn't know until a few days ago," she said, "but I've been trying to reach you for over a week." "Maybe, but I wasn't buying it." "I appreciate your apology," I said, "but we're done." Her eyes widened like she couldn't process that she didn't get to reverse time. "I made a mistake," she said. "You made a choice," I said, "based on my parents' couch and my dad's flannel shirts. That tells me everything I need to know about your values." "People change," she said. "I've changed in 3 weeks." "Impressive," I said. She started crying harder. People in the lobby were staring. "Please," she said, "just one dinner, one conversation." "No," I said. "Why not?" she asked, voice sharp now. "Because you're not sorry you judged me," I said. "You're sorry you judged wrong." Big difference. And that's when the tears stopped. It was like a switch flipped. Her face went cold. "You know what?" she said. "Fine, I tried to be nice, but you're not blameless either." "Really?" I said. "You lied to me for 2 years," she said. "You let me think you were just some regular guy when your family is loaded. That's deceptive." I laughed again. This time because it was ridiculous. "I never lied," I said. "You made assumptions." "You hid it," she said. "I lived my normal life," I said. "You saw how I live. That's not hiding. That's just who I am." "Most people don't keep millions a secret from their partner," she snapped. "I didn't have millions 3 weeks ago," I said, "and my parents' money isn't mine. They earned it." She jabbed a finger at my chest. "You're going to regret this," she said. "You're not that special. There are plenty of guys who treat me better." "Then go find one," I said. "I will," she said. "And when you're alone and realize what you lost, don't come crawling back to me." "Deal," I said. She stormed out. I went upstairs feeling lighter than I had in weeks. My neighbor, an older lady who's lived in the building forever, saw me in the hallway. "That your ex?" she asked. "Yep," I said. "She seemed lovely," she said dryly. We both laughed. I thought it was over. It wasn't. Next came the mutual friends. Messages started coming in. "She's torn up. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't you think you're being harsh?" I ignored most of it. To the genuinely confused ones, I sent a simple message. "I appreciate your concern, but I'd rather not discuss it." Then my Instagram got weird. Brand new fake accounts started requesting to follow me. No posts. No history. Obvious. I blocked them. Then her best friend called me, the one who never liked me even when we were dating. "You need to be reasonable," she said. "I don't need to be anything," I said. "She made one mistake," her friend insisted. "One, and you're throwing away 2 years." "She dumped me," I said, "because she didn't like my parents' house." "She was overwhelmed," her friend said. "Meeting parents is stressful." "Then she should have said that," I said, "instead of calling my family poor and ending it." Her friend scoffed. "You're not some victim. You kept your family's money a secret on purpose. That's manipulative." There it was, the new story, I said. "I didn't keep anything secret. I just don't base my identity on my parents' bank account." She's willing to forgive you for being shady, her friend said. That's big of her. The least you can do is hear her out. Pass, I said. You're making a mistake, her friend said. She's a catch and you're not exactly drowning in options. Thanks for your input, I said, and I hung up. I blocked her too. Then my mom called again, confused. My ex's mother had called her again, asking questions about prospects and whether my parents would encourage me to give her another chance. That word stuck with me. Prospects, not love. Not compatibility, prospects. The next escalation hit my workplace. I got called into HR on a Friday afternoon. My stomach dropped. I couldn't think of anything I'd done wrong. The HR rep looked uncomfortable. We received a concerning call from someone claiming to be your former domestic partner, she said. What? I said. She said she was worried about your mental state, the HR rep continued. That you experienced a death in the family and were making erratic financial decisions. She wanted to know if we had resources we could share with you. I sat there speechless. This wasn't concern. This was strategy, I said slowly. We broke up 3 weeks ago. She's been harassing me. This is her attempt to reach me through my workplace. The HR rep nodded. That was our impression too. The call felt more inappropriate than genuinely concerned. We ended it but wanted you aware in case she escalates. She will, I said. That night I came home to a large envelope taped to my apartment door. Inside were printed screenshots of old texts from when we were happy. Cute photos. A 3-page handwritten letter about all the good times. The last page was a list titled Reasons We Belong Together. It had 10 reasons and one of them said, we're financially compatible, obviously. That one word told the truth better than anything else. I took photos for documentation and threw it away. Sunday morning at 8 a.m., my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. It was her, holding a box. I didn't answer. I watched her ring again, knock, then finally leave the box and walk away. Inside were things I'd left at her place, hoodies, a phone charger, a book, normal stuff. But also a framed photo of us, a custom keychain with our initials, and a receipt from a jewelry store dated 4 days ago for a $300 item with engraving included. The message was clear. I spent money, now you owe me. I donated the clothes, tossed the photo, put the keychain in a drawer and forgot about it. Then Monday evening I got home and saw her sitting in the lobby of my building like she lived there, just sitting there reading a magazine. How long have you been here? I asked. She looked up casual. A couple hours. I figured you get home around 6. You can't be here, I said. It's a lobby, she said. It's public. It's private property for residents and guests, I said. I used to be a guest all the time, she said, smiling. Maybe they remember me. We should talk, she said. No, I said. I miss you, she said. I miss our conversations. I miss watching movies. I miss cooking together on Sunday mornings. You ended that, I said, in a parking lot. I panicked, she said. Haven't you ever panicked and said something stupid? She asked. Not that stupid, I said. She finally dropped the soft voice. Look, she said, I get that you're mad, but I'm putting in effort. Doesn't that count for something? It counts as harassment, I said. Her face tightened. I'm trying to save our relationship, she snapped. We don't have a relationship, I said. You ended it. I accepted it. That's where this ends. It doesn't have to, she said. Yeah, I said. It does. She asked why, like she didn't already know, and I said it plainly. Because you decided my value based on appearances, because you insulted my parents, because you only came back when you realized you miscalculated. She stood up, red-faced. You think you're so much better than me, she said. No, I said. I just know what I won't accept. You never loved me as much as I loved you, she said. Maybe, I said, but at least I loved you for you, not your bank account. She stormed out again. That night I contacted building management and asked for a formal no trespass notice. They were understanding. After that, things got worse before they got better. She started showing up at places she knew I'd be, a coffee shop, a grocery store near my building, acting surprised. Oh my God, she'd say. Crazy running into you, not crazy, calculated. I changed my routine. Then she posted vague social media updates about toxic people, dodging bullets, and knowing your worth. Fire emojis, lots of supportive comments. I didn't respond. Then she somehow got my personal email and sent an essay, apologies, memories, therapy talk, then the real point. I grew up watching my mom struggle financially, she wrote. When I saw your parents' house, it triggered something. I'm in therapy now. My therapist thinks we should talk. Closure is important. It was almost impressive how neatly she wrapped manipulation in self-help language. I deleted it without responding. 2 days later, a mutual friend called. She says she wants closure, he told me. She wants me back, I said. Yeah, he admitted. She's telling everyone you're being unreasonable. That she apologized and you won't even talk to her. Let her, I said. The people who believe that without hearing my side aren't people I need in my life. That was the point where I stopped trying to manage anyone's opinion. Then the final straw came at a friend's birthday party. I debated going because I knew she might show up. It was a mutual friend. I decided I wasn't going to hide. Sure enough, she was there. The second I walked in, she made a beeline for me. Can we talk outside? She asked. Nope, I said. 5 minutes, she begged, please. No, I said. You can't avoid me forever, she snapped. I'm not avoiding you, I said. I'm declining to engage. Then she grabbed my arm. That's when my patience ended. I pulled away. Don't touch me. People started staring. The birthday guy came over. Hey, everything cool? Yeah, she said quickly. We're good. Actually, no, I said. She's harassing me and I've asked her multiple times to stop. Her face went red. Harassing you, she said. I'm trying to have a conversation. A conversation requires 2 willing people, I said. She said she wanted closure. You got closure, I said, in the parking lot. That was a mistake, she said. Cool, I said. I'm making the choice not to give you a second chance. That's my right. She called me petty. The birthday guy stepped in. Hey, he said, maybe you should head out. Let him enjoy the party. She looked around, realized everyone was watching, and stormed out again. The next day, she texted me. You humiliated me in front of everyone. That was cruel. Everyone thinks you're crazy now. I blocked the number. I should have blocked everything sooner, but part of me wanted documentation in case I needed a restraining order. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, silence. Either she finally gave up or she's planning her next move. Honestly, I don't care which. As for me, I'm doing okay. The inheritance money is invested. I'm not touching it, aside from putting a chunk toward a down payment on a house. I found a nice place in a good neighborhood. My parents came to see it. My mom cried happy tears. My dad walked around and kept saying, "Good bones, son, good bones." Work is going well. I even got a promotion. Nothing to do with the drama. Just good timing and a project that went great. Dating, not yet. My trust took a hit. Realizing someone you cared about valued you for shallow reasons does something to your head. But I'm not bitter, I'm just more careful. Next time, I'll pay closer attention to how someone treats other people, how they talk about money and status, what they admire. Because my ex taught me a clean lesson. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. She showed me who she was in that parking lot. Everything after that was just her trying to undo the consequences once she realized she'd thrown away a good thing for the dumbest reason. No dramatic revenge, no public callouts, just boundaries, firm ones. She wanted someone who could give her a certain lifestyle. I wanted someone who would love me regardless of lifestyle. We weren't compatible, simple as that. The inheritance didn't change who I am. It just revealed who she is. And I'd rather find that out at 2 years than at 10 with kids involved. So here are the lessons I'm taking from this. Lesson 1. Pay attention to how someone talks about poor people. It usually reveals how they'll treat you when life gets hard. Lesson 2. Frugal is not the same as broke. And judging people by appearances is a fast way to show bad character. Lesson 3. If someone leaves you over status and returns over money, they didn't change. They just recalculated. Lesson 4. Boundaries don't require revenge. Sometimes the strongest move is simply saying no and meaning it. Lesson 5. Protect your peace. If someone can't accept a no, take it seriously and document everything. So what would you have done in my place? Would you have heard her out and given her a second chance? Or would you have done the same thing and closed the door? And do you think she was truly sorry, or just sorry she judged wrong?